Hey there, Bridget Lynn Dolgoff and Conscious of Economics. And you can see how I've got, next video is heavy horse pookie all over. And I got heavy horse pookie in here too. All the way over. I've just got a little section I have to finish over on this side. Today, finish getting the horse pookie up there. So one of the things I've been thinking a lot about this winter is skin and how to, protect your garden beds and other areas with, like if you don't have herd animals in an area and pasture, because you don't want to lose what you've already gotten in your soil from the work that you've done from the previous year. So you always want to put a skin layer on it, to protect it. And so at the end of this year, when I cut most of the garden bed down, I left all the roots intact in the soil so that they could continue to break down as mulch, and, it helps the microbes have food and it leaves some of the nitrogen in the soil. And then I put wood chips and stuff like that from the wood pile on it. And I put like about, 2 to 3, inches of wood mass all over. Eventually it'll be eaten in. Also as mulch, also helps with, especially here in the desert, with the soil kind of retaining water, dirt. We're still in the process of turning sand into dirt, so hasn't really quite achieved soil level yet. So, and then now, with it being January, now I'm putting the horse pucky on it. And some of this horse pucky is already in breakdown stage when I was digging it up. And I want to, talk about a really important point. So, this horse pucky, a couple cool things. So, it comes from the neighbor. And this, the way she has her horses in their pens at night, the horses poop in one area and pee in another. So this is not typical horse crap. I mean, most of the time when you're going to get compost or animal manure, it's scraped off a large area where there have been lots of, animals in one pen, and the poop is saturated with urine, which makes it super acidy and super hot and just, a lot more difficult to work with. So this poop is actually picked up every, morning and put into a dry pile. So it doesn't have the acid that, it would if it was saturated with horse urine from one area. So I don't have to deal with too much, acid. The other thing too is for, where we're at in alkaline land, a little acid is not bad because Nevada is very alkaline. I mean, it was a giant ocean bed at one time, and the water still is pretty alkaline. So for the most part. So in order to grow food, you got to have a balance between, acid and alkaline. And the other thing too is some of this poop is a little bit on the fresher side, which is okay, because it'll actually help with a little bit of heat. So if I'm going to plant a winter bed here, with like some winter veggies, this poop, once I start digging it in, as it breaks down, it's going to offer it a little bit more heat. Not like too many degrees hotter, or enough to burn the plants, but enough to generate heat to help to keep the plants during, really cold nights. In the first video, I said it was getting down to like 12 degrees, minus 12, and that was wrong. It's been getting down to like, I think the coldest it got was last month was like 3 degrees out here, 7 degrees. And down to 12 degrees. So, but yeah, it's all good. I mean, you can see how this is warmed up. The only place that hasn't really warmed up is right where the fence is, where the sun can't get there. And you can see some of the ice. It's very nucleated ice. It's pretty frightening. Chemtrails have just been so unbelievably out of control. It just shocks me. It just totally shocks me. So, as far as the wood chips were, I just scraped up a whole bunch over here. There was a huge area that had leftover worked wood, and I left all the big stuff for fireplace, but I raked up all the smaller stuff, and that's what's on top of the garden bed. So I like to try to use, natural stuff. And the horse poop is coming from that area over there. And also was just going to mention that one of the horses that the horse poop's coming from, I worked on last summer because he had a lot of really bad neck problems. And so I did manipulations and adjustments and pressure point work on him. And he got a little essential oils too. And by the way, I find that my horse is like one of two blends, either lavender or the doTERRA Balance. Horses really like the Balance one. Okay. Anyway, that is your, so it's kind of cool that it's like a full circle thing. That I'm using the horse poop from the animal that, I worked on and helped and fixed and, all that kind of stuff. So it's all good. All right. Yeah. Yeah. And I think I worked on the horse like about over 2 months, like once a week. That's about all they can handle, when you start adjusting them and putting them back in and releasing their trauma, their abuse, muscle memory, and they get pretty sore. So they need a couple of days to recover, but he recovered really brilliantly. Okay, that's it. Gonna finish the horse pucky today. So the next video probably is going to be maybe when I do some seed broadcasting in here. And I decided I'm gonna do 2 kale, maybe 1 chard, and then 3 spinach. And this is a really good time of year for spinach. It likes it colder. It does not like it when it's warm at all. Okay, over and out. And I'm thinking this weekend it's supposed to pound rain and snow. And so after the weekend, probably on the Monday when it starts to warm back up, will be perfect time to throw those seeds in and let them get jiggy. Okay, and then I've got covers too. And in the future videos, we can kind of go over that. Kind of more of the winter growing and winter farming kind of idea. And I'm kind of thinking about putting up some wood barriers on the outside of the fence just to block, some of the wind. Obviously, block it, and then you can always open it here on the south side in the morning so it can get sun in there. But block some of the wind and then put covers on it, and it should be pretty good. I mean, Elliot, what's his name? Something Elliot. The guy that writes the books on winter farming indoors. I mean, he grows like 5 million pounds of green, leaf salads and kales and all kinds of stuff in greenhouses in 6 foot of snow in Maine. So it's doable. You just have to be, pay more attention to your garden several times a day and know when to keep it covered and know when to open it up and check on it and close it and open it and close it and open it sometimes. Okay, that's it. Talk to you later. Bridget Lynn Dolgoff, Conscious of Economics and Urban Farm Project. Bye.